Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, November 28th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Denise Douglas. So glad you could join us this evening. Governor Larry Hogan promised to introduce an emergency paid sick leave act at the beginning of the upcoming session. He slammed legislation that lawmakers approved, but that he vetoed back in May. He said it would have killed jobs, unfairly burdened small businesses, and violated privacy. This new measure would require businesses with 25 or more employees to phase in benefits over a 3-year period. They would receive 1 hour of paid leave for 30 hours. Hogan says the plan would be a compromise that would benefit all Marylanders.
Our compromise measure includes language originally introduced by the Senate Judicial Proceedings Committee Chairman, Bobby Zirkin, which allows qualifying businesses that can demonstrate a significant financial hardship. They can apply for a hardship waiver with the Department of Labor. Under our proposal, all employees will accrue 1 hour of paid leave for every 30 hours worked, up to a maximum of 40 hours. That means every worker will receive these benefits. This new legislation will alleviate the onerous administrative burdens which the bill that I vetoed would have created. No small business owner, in my opinion, should have to hire an HR director just to try to comply with one overly complex and burdensome law.
If the measure approved, all businesses with at least 25 workers would be required to have the benefits in place by 2020. Meanwhile, gubernatorial candidate Ben Jealous issued a statement criticizing Hogan's move, saying, quote, "Any plan developed in secrecy and unveiled during election season likely has more to do with politics than problem solving."
Well, as the Purple Line becomes a step closer to reality, local leaders sign an agreement to ensure equitable development along the light rail system that will run between Prince George's and Montgomery counties. Stakeholders say they want to make sure community members aren't left behind as the project transforms neighborhoods along the train's 18-mile path.
To make sure as this community grows around this transit, as we see mixed-use development come in, that we also see affordable workforce housing, that we also see job opportunities for those communities, that we see businesses that have suffered through not having the transit there actually participate.
Today is a culmination of decades of work that was put together by 4 different nonprofit entities, the National Center for Smart Growth, Enterprise, CASA, and the Purple Line Now. And we brought the county executives and President Lowe, who will be impacted by lines and communities will be impacted by the Purple Line. And we came together to sign a community development agreement that would outline a few steps about affordable housing, workforce development, and sustainable communities.
And signers of the Pathways to Opportunity Agreement also agreed to conduct an annual review of the Purple Line corridor.
2 congressmen from Maryland say more needs to be done to improve service on Metro. Anthony Brown and Jamie Raskin are introducing the WMATA Flexible Funding and Safety Improvement Act legislation in Congress. The 2 men said the announcement while standing alongside dozens of Metro employees at the New Carrollton stop earlier today.
It'll provide WMATA the flexibility to use its federal funds to avoid service cuts and additional fare increases, and it'll launch pilot programs to consider new innovative ways to increase ridership, including implementing a flat fare system, offering free transfers between bus and rail, and making WMATA more accessible to the working poor.
We need dedicated funding because we need to be dedicated to the system on a long-term basis. We don't need funding for 2 years or 4 years. We need a dedicated stream that we can plan on.
Is this the end-all to be-all? No, probably not. It's probably going to be additional items or bills that have to be passed. But we're grown folks. We need to start having a grown folks conversation about this system and stop just playing with it. You know, it's the livelihood and the lifeblood of this community, and they need it more.
The legislation will also create 2 separate task forces that will focus on safety training.
Well, this is not an ordinary Christmas tale. The Archdiocese of Washington filed a lawsuit against Metro after the transit service rejected their Christmas season advertisement. The ad, Find the Perfect Gift Initiative, promotes worshipers to participate in the Christmas season. Metro says it depicts a religious scene and thus seeks to promote religion. The lawsuit, filed in the U.S. District Court, states that Metro is restricting the church's First Amendment rights based on the religious ad.
As the investigation continues into the hunt for the killer of a Baltimore police officer, his family and friends will lay him to rest. 43-year-old Sean Suter was investigating in the Harlem Park neighborhood when he was shot in the head. His funeral will be held at Mount Pleasant Church tomorrow. Officials expect quite a turnout and are telling drivers to give themselves extra time if they will be in that area. The bulk of the traffic is expected going north on I-95 and I-895 between 1 and 3 p.m.
12:30, 1:30 time frame. There's going to be thousands of law enforcement officers to pay respect. So this is going to be a large procession. What's going to happen? At that time, all main lines of northbound I-95 will be closed.
A $2,015 $1,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of a suspect in this case.